This program is brought to you by Pussy Magnets.
Put a midge on your friend with a pussy magnet.
Welcome, my lovely lumps. Or should I say lovely labs? I'm so thrilled to have you here in the Labia Lounge. We're going to yarn about all things sexuality, womanhood, relationships, intimacy, holistic health, and everything in between. Your legs. Ooh, can't help myself. Anyway, we're going to have vag loads of real chats with real people about real shit. So buckle up, you're about to receive the sex ed that you never had and have a bloody good laugh while you're at it. Before we dive in, I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. It's an absolute privilege to be living and creating dope podcast content in Naarm, and I pay respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. Now, if you're ready, let's flap and do this. Oh my God, is there such thing as too many vagina jokes in the one intro? Whatever, it's my podcast. I'm leaving it in.
Don't panic, you're not broken. Your sex education was a piece of shit. Get your flaps out and pull up a couch. It's the Labia Lounge.
Hey gang, welcome to part 2 of the Esoteric live recordings from the festival. If you didn't check out last week's episode, which was just quietly my 100th episode, pretty bloody grouse if you ask me, I'd highly recommend checking that out. And then next week there's going to be more where this came from because I got a fair few recordings from the festival. Also, if you are into this sort of format where I interview lots of real people about real shit, you can go back and listen to the Comfort Creek Festival episodes or the Summer of Love. I'm going to let you get stuck in and I hope you enjoy. What is the weirdest way you mazzed as a teenager or young thing? Maz means masturbate.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to check that. Totally. Okay, so wild. I actually only just masturbated the first time like a couple of months ago.
What?
Yeah.
Can we get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Congrats, how was it?
It was good. It was just like a major block of mine. Yeah, I feel like that's common for a lot of people because obviously it was me, so I can't be that much of a minority. But yeah, it was good. It was like Kyle was away and I was just like, oh. You know, we've been in a relationship for a long time now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like, was it great? Did you have a shame hangover?
Shame hangover. I've heard of vulnerability hangover before, but I like a shame hangover. Not really. Yeah. Great. I was kind of just like, fuck, at least we passed a hurdle there.
Totally. So it's been a block of yours for a long time, obviously. So what made you, like, what's made the difference all of a sudden that you were able to overcome that?
I think I'm just a lot more confident in myself and my body now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you don't have to answer this, but it is Labia Lounge, so I'm going to ask, what did you do? Like, clit, vibrator, penetration, dildo, fingers?
Just fingers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just on the clit or inside as well?
Bit of both.
Great. Love that. This is good. You don't want to get too reliant on the clitoral. You know, a lot of people just do purely external, mazzing. And that's like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it can be limiting. And then you kind of train your body to only come from the clitoris, and then penetration doesn't feel as good with other people as well. So I'm glad that you're rocking some penetration in your self-pleasure practice. It's important.
Yes.
Thanks for being so honest and vulnerable. That's like such a huge, like, what a question I chose for you. You're like, oh, well, funny you should ask that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Is there anything you haven't tried yet in intimate relationships that you would like to? And you could both answer that if you feel like it.
You go. I want to see what you say because I know straight away.
Come closer. This is your partner?
The same thing. Yeah.
All right, awesome. How long have you guys been together?
Almost 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you want to try that you haven't tried yet? It doesn't have to be kinky or wild or anything either.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can't think of anything, it's a huge thing to put you on the spot, like in front of your girlfriend. Do you have anything?
Yes. Anal. We haven't done it before, so.
Sorry, just say that into the mic.
Anal. Anal! I was screaming into the mic.
And have you done that before?
No.
Okay, so we're having self-pleasure sessions, we're moving towards anal. This is exciting,
Maybe,
guys.
yeah.
It's exciting. Maybe.
Something, it's in the future, one day.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you have any blockages or hang-ups around anal?
Well, he's my mirror, so he must.
No, I don't know. No,
Because I do.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Depends what frame of mind I'm in, I think. I don't know.
All right. Cool. Did you know that this was something she wanted to try?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know.
It's more something you want to try.
Yeah, I guess,
me.
but
Yeah.
I see. So you answered the question for him.
Well,
Is there anything
I still
you
want to
wanna
do
try?
it. No,
Okay.
I still want to do it.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that came to mind.
Cool. Well, lucky for you guys, I've got an episode all about anal and butt play. So can you just...
Well, I know what we're listening to
Yeah.
on the way home.
Hey, literally. Honestly,
Yeah.
don't forget, it's really good. I interviewed this expert. I think it's got a funny title like "Backdoor to God," because she's
Love it.
quite like it's got a lot of very like handy and practical tips, and also a lot of unpacking around the most common reasons people have fears and hang-ups and blockages around it, because
Yeah.
obviously there's that thing of like, oh, but it's dirty and poo, and what if I shit myself, and what about the smell, and what if hygiene, and a lot of people
Yeah.
have a lot of
Yeah.
and then of course you've got to be really like intentional
most
about how you
people-
approach it.
Find it hard figuring out how to have sex, let alone that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Took my first boyfriend and I like 3 months to fucking finally get dick in vag. Honestly, like we high-fived. It was like so hard to figure it out and like get it in there. It was painful. We just didn't know what we were doing, and I think that definitely happens with butt stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's exciting. Do you want to go one more question?
Yeah, lucky last.
All right. And don't forget to put your email address on the thing, and I can send you the anal episode. Write a little note next to the email address, anal. What do you hate when people say or do during sex? Like, is there anything that you're like, oh, cringe? Like someone yesterday was like, oh, I hate it when someone's like, oh, good girl, you're such a good girl. Because she's like,
yeah.
it makes me feel like a child.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Is there anything that you've noticed that you're like, ugh?
Well, I do not like anything around the neck at all. Like, that's a big no-no
Yes.
for me. Yeah.
Especially when they go for the choke without asking.
Yeah, and you just met or something?
Yeah.
That's happened to me.
Not cool. Oh,
Fuck.
dude.
Yeah.
No, not good. What about you?
When they say my name too much, I don't like that. I just don't like it.
Can I ask what you don't have to say your name on the podcast, but do you have like, what kind of name are we talking?
Okay,
Oh,
what's
like-
a guy's name that drinks energy drinks a lot? And like,
Trevor?
and like plays video games
Oh, okay.
and like classically around the streets just hanging out, that type of name.
Oh. Scott.
Nah,
Oh.
think a bit more like
Rob?
It was a meme years ago.
Oh, fuck. I'm not super up with
It's like-
meme culture,
No, it was
unfortunately.
me. No, Kyle.
Kyle. Okay, so I'm imagining.
It's not really a sexy name to say. It's pretty boring. It's not really a sexy name to say during sex. Like Kyle, like that doesn't sound good.
Do you know what? I feel weird when like a partner calls me my name full stop. Because it's like you call each other like babe, hun, sugar, whatever the fuck, your pet names. Like,
Yeah.
if you, it's like you're in trouble if someone says your actual name, and then if someone's like, oh Freya, that feels so good, I'd be like taken out of the moment because I'd be distracted
Yeah.
by that. So I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. I don't like it at all. It just brings me right back down to earth. I'm like, I don't want to be here thinking about my name and shit.
Okay, well, I hardly say your name, hey.
No, you
like
don't, you
one
don't,
in
you
like
don't.
a bajillion years.
No, you don't.
But now I know definitely not.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Great, there you go. You
Good
guys have
final
learned so much.
answer.
We're going to try anal. We're not going to say each other's names during sex.
Yeah.
Got some masturbation tips.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. Stoked. Thanks so
What do
much.
you need?
Yeah, it was so good.
Are there any sexual poses that you would try if you were strong and or flexible enough? And why?
So I would love to do like something hanging upside down off like a set of monkey bars, or maybe like a hoop swing. I don't know how that would work, sexually, but yeah, definitely like splits. If I can practice and get flexible enough again, that would be awesome. Hanging upside down in the splits.
Did you ever do any gymnastics and stuff like that?
I did ballet for 11 years, so I was flexible as a kid, but not so much these days.
I bet ballerinas fuck.
For real. Yeah.
Gymnasts, like they're literally like elite athletes, so strong. Dancers, I bet that they can do some wild shit. Like I reckon, best plan of action, start getting into like aerial silks and stuff.
Aerial yoga, yes.
Aerial yoga,
Definitely.
silks, like the hoop that hangs up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Give it a few years, you'll be doing so many splits with some, you know,
potentially sexual.
yeah, I'm not sure how you work that in. You'd have to find
flexible.
another gymnast or something, maybe. I mean, you can get sex swings though. That's kind of like a cheats version.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's a good starter, to be honest. Yeah.
Totally.
But
Because sex swings can be good for people with like even less flexibility and mobility. So you wouldn't even need to be like strong or flexible.
That's so true.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Awesome.
Well, I'm glad we like workshopped that one. Let me see what else I've got. Have you ever faked an orgasm and why?
So I faked an orgasm for the first time about a week ago because I started doing sex work about 3 months ago, and I'm not one to ever want to fake an orgasm. Like, it doesn't feel good. I hate lying. But this client of mine was like, I would love to make you come at least a couple of times and then a couple more times, but he wanted us to come in like, it was a double, so with another girl, within like 2 minutes, and obviously that's impossible. I need at least 15 to 20 minutes. That's in my personal life, so who knows what it's going to be like at work. So I just tried to imitate my best version of what I usually sound like, and he totally loved it anyway, so I'm like, I'm still making him happy, but yeah, I felt a little bit guilty about it still.
I was interviewing someone yesterday who does sex work that said exactly the same thing. Like,
really,
at work, it's kind of like, well, you know, sometimes like they're coming for this service and an experience, and it makes them feel good. They're more satisfied with the overall experience. Like, it's less kind of pressure on you once you kind of just like tick that box for them. And like, I don't know, it's not, I feel like in private life, it's kind of like, I see it as a duty, community service, a responsibility to be like honest and like teaching people. I'm not going to generalize, but it's usually men. Like, you know, we do need that 20, 30 minutes of foreplay. We're not just going to like come on cue, and, you know, we're not just going to like have an orgasm to stroke your ego.
Exactly.
But like, I guess if you're at work and you're being paid and you know, you're kind of like on the clock, you want to do it like simultaneously with the other person you're working with or whatever. Like, I think it's just a practical decision. So
exactly,
no shame in that.
Thank you. And I guess like if someone's paying me for an hour to go really slow and I feel comfortable enough with them and they want to genuinely learn how to please me, then I'd be open to that sometimes, and like I'm happy to teach them and actually have a real orgasm, but there's that fine line that I'm still learning of like, what do I want to experience at work versus leave just for my personal life. So it's interesting.
Yeah, totally. I'd say a bit of a rite of passage for any sex workers, just finding like how to engage with it in a way that feels like healthy and balanced, and like it's super interesting. So you're really fresh at that. How has it been going overall? Do you think you'll stick with it? What have the challenges been?
I mean, I did stripping for like 2 to 3 years on and off in the past, and then being out of the sex industry for over a year, I couldn't imagine going back to such an overstimulated environment, but figured like I could actually do this. Like, I had a bit of that whorephobic stance in the past, but from learning from my friends' experiences of how positive it was, I realized like actually it's so different to how I perceived it before. So I'm enjoying it, but I do feel like I would love to get into another job, sort of what I studied as well, and kind of do both together, not just make it my sole focus. Yeah, cool. But yeah, it's been good so far.
Yeah, amazing. Fuck yeah, power to you. Awesome. We'll chat with my team member here who does the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, didn't want to drop any names, but yeah. All right, beautiful. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
What beliefs, stories, habits, or conditioning do you have that you want to make sure you don't pass on to any like kids that you have or kids in your life?
Oh, that's an easy one. My mother was horrified that one of us children might turn out to be gay.
Oh.
And when I started experimenting with my sexuality, obviously I had to hide that as, far away as possible. She still busted me a couple of times. I think in her head she made a bunch of excuses about how everything was going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I think the way the world's moving at the moment is really positive. Young people seem to be taking away a lot of the burdens involved in sexual relationships and just treating it like any other relationship, which is magnificent.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was born 20 years too early because
totally.
all the people my age are really hung up.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I mean, although like nowadays the porn scene is pretty frightening, and I didn't have that to that extent when I was kind of in my formative years, like learning about sex.
Oh yeah, what's frightening about it?
I think just the accessibility and the age that, these kids are having like insane amounts of intense stimuli at their fingertips when they haven't even had real sex. Like a lot, I hear from clients a lot that like, the young ones in particular, like they'll be with a guy and the guy will be like, what the fuck is this? Because they've got inner labia that actually protrude, because they've never seen a real pussy, and they're just so used to what happens in porn that there's all of these like fucking broken tracheas from people choking when they don't actually know how to do it safely, and they don't know about consent, and it's getting more and more intense for, young kids that are literally like getting their sex education from porn. And I didn't have like the internet when I was a kid. I didn't really have access to any of that. And so I think I managed to like form a bit of a relationship with my body and sex and intimacy, the old-fashioned way with people before I had that influenced by watching copious amounts of all the most extreme porn on the internet,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't start having sex with other people until late in my teens, and my sex education was a dirty limerick book, and
wicked.
and dial-up porn.
Yeah.
And I was watching porn at the age of 12, and one of the positive things about the explosion of porn is the amount of amateur porn out there where you do see real bodies and you do see real interactions between people. And to a certain extent, obviously, that's dressed up for the camera.
Yeah.
But a lot of the channels that are doing really well are the ones that are being really honest about the performers.
Yeah, I love. I really want to get the woman who started Make Love Not Porn. She is phenomenal. If you ever hear her talk on a podcast or anything like that, like she's got such an amazing mission with that. So I feel like that's at least shifting a little bit. Like, the more kind of amateur and ethical porn available, the better, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always wanted when I was young, but it was just mechanical bodies smashing together in awkward positions.
Yeah.
And that never really did it for me. And it wasn't until fairly late in life, like probably my early 30s, that I found porn that appealed to me.
Right, yeah.
There's a channel called Carbo who focus a lot on lesbian porn, and everything is very slow and very sensual, and like 90% of the video is seduction.
Yeah.
And then the last 10 minutes they fuck.
Great, that checks out.
Yeah.
Women know how to fucking slow down, and oh my god, I think we're gonna have to. The wind is about to just take everything out, so maybe we wrap this up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks so much for the chat.
No worries.
Hey, baby babes. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to pop my head into the lounge here and mention another virtual lounge that I'd love you to get around. It's the Labia Lounge Facebook group that I've created for listeners of the potty to mingle in. There you'll find extra bits and bobs like freebies, behind the scenes, or discounts for offerings from guests who have been interviewed on the podcast. There'll also be, hopefully, inspiring, thought-provoking conversations and support from a community of labial legends like yourself. My vision for this is that it becomes a really supportive, educational and hilarious resource for you to have more access to me and a safe space to ask questions you can't ask anywhere else. So head over to the links in the show notes or look up the Labia Lounge group in Facebook and I'll see you in there. And now, back to the episode.
I'll go. I'm a bit claggy. I need to drink some water, but
Need some liquid? Hang on, here we go.
we'll
Sort you out. We can't have pasties.
Yeah. My
Nice.
teeth just sticking to my lips.
Hydrate. Oh God, no way. We don't want that.
All right. What was your experience when you got your period for the first time? How were periods talked about in your home? Whoa. So not spoken about at all. Like, I remember the first time I got my period, I was like, I used to half live with my grandparents and my mum. And so, like, I'm staying at my grandparents' house and get my period for the first time. My grandma had a hysterectomy, so she didn't have children, or, you know, she couldn't. So, like, and she's Christian, like, super Christian. So, like, you know, she gave me a tampon of all things, and I didn't. Yeah,
Raw dog.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Didn't know what to do with it. I like put it in crooked. Had like the
It's like
absolute
doing anal before doing
totally.
vaginal.
Yeah. It was
Just
like
have a pad for fuck's sake.
totally, and it was like the most painful experience of my life. I slept all night on a mattress next to their bed because I'm 12. I'm like, I think I was even 11 possibly, and I'm like in so much pain. And I, like, looking back on it, I'm like, I think I put it in crooked, like, yeah, and I just tried to sleep with it crooked all night, and it was just, like, horrendous. So that is literally my first time having my period, going straight in for the tampon, no talk about it, like,
And sleeping with it too.
yeah, like, just in so much pain. Yeah, totally. And like, yeah, honestly, I think I mentioned it to my mom, and then like she got me onto pads, but like I had to go through all those experiences of like bleeding through my pad at school, and then like having blood on my pants, and you know, just like these uncomfortable things that could have been avoided if maybe we had have had some dialogue around it. But like, it was like, you know, growing up Christian, it's like we just don't talk about those things.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Horrendous. So like,
Sounds awful, dude. I'm so sorry.
yeah, it was horrible.
I
yeah.
could not put a tampon in. Fucking still get just joking.
Yeah.
I couldn't put a tampon in for like the first several years of menstruating,
Yeah.
and when I could, it was literally I had to use the applicator tampons.
Yeah.
I've barely put a tampon in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, I wish I didn't start out like that. I still hate putting them on. Like, I have to like lube them up a bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's so
feels
dry, it's like
abrasive, and
ripping.
It's like,
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm like, what? How do
take
people
me
do
to
this?
dinner first.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Horrible. Right. So yeah, that was my first experience, and it wasn't really talked about, unfortunately.
Do you have a good one, Hayley?
I actually, oh my gosh, that reminded me so much of being at the swim centre. And you know how when you first start you bleed and you have to go on like school swim camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, oh my God, I'm actually going to have to get in the pool and put a tampon in, and I've never done that before. And I just remember thinking like, I'm not going to make it. I am not going to make it into the pool. And then I had all these like visualizations of it's going to fall out. Totally. It's going to be in the pool. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Like, what if all the water comes inside of me and it blows up? And then I had no education around how tampons actually work.
Because I couldn't put them in right, so they were always half hanging out.
Oh my
and
God.
Then I would like feel it, like kind of weaseling its way out of my entrance.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh, it's so painful. I like avoid them at all costs now too. I just, Yeah. And not because of that trauma, but more so like
They're horrible.
they just don't feel nice. Exactly. Yeah. Like a free bleed all the way.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's swimming. It's only swimming, and then it's like I put it in, and then I go for my swim, and then like it comes straight out, and it's like gets so waterlogged, and like if I don't change it straight away, there's blood leaking out the bottom of it, and it's just like a flawed system. And I tried the cups, and the cups like not for me either.
Oh fuck no! I had a horrific experience with that cup suctioning onto my cervix and not being able to get it out. I walked an hour like for an hour, like I was in tears, like up on my back, like in the toilet with my legs over my fucking ears, and he's fishing around in there, and it's so painful at this point. I've never used one again. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I know there's a trick to it, and you can get it sorted, but like I'm not going to persevere. And I've heard that story from so many people, so it's like
Totally.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know they could do I didn't know they could do that.
Because you're meant to like break the seal that it's suctioned onto your cervix, and you squeeze it to break the seal around the sides, but I couldn't break the seal. It was fully suctioned on. I was trying to hook a finger under the lip, but I was like scraping my cervix, and it was like really deep and too kind of deep for me to reach, and it was oh mate, it's fucked. Because you kind of need to get your thumb and your finger all the way up there to squeeze and pinch, and I'm like, I have a long vaginal canal. That's not happening for me. Like, what the hell? How do people do this?
That's so scary.
Yeah.
Totally.
I find the cups, like I've tried them a couple of times, but they just make me need a pee. Like it pushes on my bladder. And I can't deal with it. I'm like, oh, I only went to the toilet 10 minutes ago and I need to go again.
Exactly. And like I'm like you know, I find that I'm getting tighter and tighter and more stressed, and I'm trying to get it out, and I'm like squeezing, and then like I had this one with a really tiny tail on it, and I'd pull it and then I'd flick myself in the vagina, and I'd be like, you know, like trying to get this thing out. And once I was in a public toilet and I pulled it and it flicked blood everywhere because I just like finally the suction broke and was like
Not
and
surprised. I've heard that a bunch too. It's a fucking real hazard.
Yeah.
I don't get them.
No,
fuck moon
like,
cups. Controversial opinion. Fuck moon cups.
Fuck moon cups.
They're not going to sponsor the show.
Yeah. I mean, I really would prefer tampons, and I do not prefer tampons. Like, or pads. I mean, fucking period knickers. Like, yes, they're amazing. Like, I am so happy that I found them. Although you like got to make sure that you fucking wash them. Like,
there's pros and cons to all of them.
and like not leave them soaking in a bucket for like weeks, because like that also is really fucking bad. Yeah.
I have not been there.
Don't do it. It's bad. It's really bad.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
All right, Hayley, do you want to pull a card?
Sure.
Some good fodder from that one.
Is there something kinky that intrigues you but that you're too scared to try yet? Or maybe haven't had that opportunity to try? Oh, that's a tough one. Something kinky. I feel like I've done some weird stuff, but like...
Nothing that you've always wanted to try?
Always wanted to try. There's nothing in my brain that I'm like, yes, I want that. Like,
neither, to be honest.
I love being worshipped by a guy. Like, I love when they're just like, oh my god, you're a goddess. Like, your
Let
legs,
me wear your pussy like a hat.
Yes, oh my god. Let me smell you all over. Like, oh, just that's what I like. Like, it's just
love it.
Yeah, and then that in turn like makes me want to do the same.
Yeah,
like with their
Lick
dick,
some
I'm just like, yes, your dick is amazing.
Yes, let me worship you.
Yeah,
Totally.
Do you have anything kinky that you haven't tried yet that you're curious about?
So I like... Okay, well, I just recently have tried rimming, not like giving rimming, but receiving rimming, and realised that I fucking quite like it.
Great.
For such a long time, I was like very resistant to it because of hygiene. Like, I'm very sensitive with hygiene. The idea of somebody licking my asshole when my shit comes out and then going to my pussy is just very like... Ugh, you know, cross-contamination.
Front to back.
Yeah, sewage system next to a playground, you know, like, and like I just, so like I was at work doing sex work, and I had like this client, and he wanted to have me sit on his face for an hour, and then like for me to give him a golden shower at the end, but he wanted to do some rimming in between. I mean, I've never fucking sat on someone's face for an hour, but like it was amazing. He actually had a really good technique. and he went for rimming, and he like picked my hips up and like licked from back to front. And I remember for a bit going, oh my God, back to front, like alert, like no. But then I was like, you know what? I'm like, you have a clean asshole. You know that you cleaned yourself before this. Like, you actually knew this was going to happen. So you like, I got in there, you know, I cleaned it good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you're clean. It's fine. Like, you know, this guy's young. He's got quite like good oral hygiene. Like, you're going to be okay. And look, I didn't come out of it with gastro. I don't have like BV or like thrush, you know. And I was like, this actually feels kind of good. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. So yeah, and golden showers I hadn't really done until then, and I was like, this is fun, like, you know, like this guy's really loving this, and I'm pissing on his face and his chest, and he's, you know, getting a lot out of that. So like, I guess they were things that I wanted to do in the past that have fulfilled now. But I also like, just something I've been thinking about is I've never been a dominatrix before. I've never really like domineered over a man, and like there is definitely a desire to play with dirty talk and to play with, that domineering aspect that I haven't really played with without like having this feeling of like embarrassment or like shame, because I think that comes up when it, like, especially with dirty talk, when I've tried in the past, I'm like, I just laugh myself off because I'm like, what comes out is so absurd. It's just
hard
like
to stay present in the moment. Like, I can't roleplay. Absolutely not. I feel like a fucking idiot. I just love, I can't be in, I mean, it's not my thing, but
totally, yeah, no, I'm like no good at it. I'm like, oh, you're a dirty little boy, and then I'm like, oh God, what did I say? You know, or I'm like, you filthy fucking cunt, or, you know, something comes out and it's just like, oh, that's not, you know, that's not it. So that, I think that'd be something that maybe through my exploration that I try and relax into a bit more and have a bit of experience working with, and not taking myself too seriously in it. And maybe through that relaxation I'll be able to, you know, be more of the dominatrix that I feel that I'm curious to know if I, you know, maybe it lives in me.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it really appeals to me, but I can't, it actually doesn't. Like, I think I like the idea of it, and I'm like, yes, fuck yeah, I'd like to have a house slave. I'd like to just get paid to like boss someone around. Totally. But then the reality of it was like, exhausting. It's actually not me. And you know, I had this one client that wanted me to like use racial slurs. He had like brown skin and wanted me to do these role plays about like being in the war and him being on like the opposing side and me just like racially slurring. I was like, I can't, I feel so uncomfortable. What happened here? And it was like, he was such a lovely dude, and that's just, you know, I didn't want to yuck his yum, but I was also like, fuck, I just don't think this is for me, actually. Yeah, and I think, like, you know, with the whole yucking your yum thing, it's like when it gets to this like racial where it's going against your, you know, your beliefs and you know, your values. Which is the appeal, is the taboo of that. But like for me, it's not my kink, so I found it really difficult to provide the service that he was after. How do I get on your level when I'm so not there? So anyway, that actually made me think about like this client that I had. I'm not laughing because this is funny. This is actually really messed up. Oh God. Yeah, I don't know if you should go into this. Yeah, go on. So basically, like, this wasn't my client. It was a friend of mine who I was working with, and she's gone into the room after an intro. So you do intro, you go in, and she's like going to, like, he's had his shower and she's going in to start the booking, and he's like up on the side of the couch like jacking off, and he's like, he's a teacher, which he'd mentioned to her before the intro, and he's like, you're so and so, and like I've just caught you behind the sheds, and like you're gonna come over and suck my dick, you know. And she was like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, she's like, nah, what the fuck, like, nah, you like get the fuck out, you know, I'm not gonna see you. Because the reality is like in that situation, it's like he has said that he's a school teacher and this is him living out his fantasy. And when I look at it from both ways, I'm like, okay, yes, at least he's living his thing out here. Hey. No, thank you. That's okay. Thanks so much. The absolute nerve. Can't you see we are recording here? Honestly, man spread. All right, keep going. No, we don't want mushy cats.
Yeah.
I'm too antisocial to do this, honestly. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, that was really like read the room.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on one hand, he's at least getting this kink
I mean,
out
yeah,
in a
he's
safe
getting-
way with an adult.
Exactly. Like he's doing it there, but then it makes me still worry. Like, should there be a system where it's like when someone like that comes in, that there's some sort of investigation into that person, or
Because it's
you
like,
know?
yeah, maybe this is his outlet that he's getting at in a responsible way and not harming any actual minors.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know, this kink does bleed into, like, you know, his professional life and he has been, you know, crossing some boundaries with students.
Yeah,
and it's like,
totally.
do we want to encourage this? Like, I don't know. I know that's so tricky, like, ethically. Because so much of, like, kink and fetish is... a big part of the appeal is how taboo and not okay it is, like incest and, you know, like, and even like, you know, some pedophiles like really hate that they have this thing. Like they don't want to be pedophiles. They can't help that they're attracted to kids, so they try to find other healthier outlets so that they're not actually abusing children. But it's such a I can't even imagine.
It's very nuanced, and I guess it's kind of led astray from the topic, but in a way it's just this whole like, where do you draw the line in this like yucking the yum sort of thing? It's like, and then that obviously really came up against my friend's boundaries, and she was like, yeah, no, nah, I'm not doing this role play with you. Like this actually is too far. You know, and I think you should be able to go, oh, actually, if somebody else wants to live out some sort of desire and you're in this role where you want to be able to give them that, if it gets to that point where it's like crossing your boundaries, to still be able to go, yeah, actually, fuck that. I'm not gonna be that person. Sorry. Yeah.
Damn. All right. Should we choose one more?
How's that person?
Huh?
How's that person?
I know, like, fucking hell. A woman would not do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A woman would never assume to be entitled enough to our time and attention while we're in the middle of recording something in a private space to just butt in and go, hey guys,
You want some mushy cat?
oh my god. That was so funny.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Do either of you want to pick another card? Do you want to go next or do you...
I feel like I'm talking heaps. You go next.
Yeah. When and where have you felt the most comfortable and safe having sex? Oh, it's funny. Like I absolutely love, like, I mean, the bath or like around water. I'm such a water baby that like I love being around water and having sex. Like,
wow.
But mainly like. Not the actual like penetration part, the actual like intimacy and the like touching, the soft touching, the holding my boobs for like an hour, kind of like really slow sensual sex. And I feel that's just like,
and then you move from the water to somewhere dry so that your lubrication doesn't get wicked away.
Exactly.
And splash the bathroom to heavens.
And then you like get a nice massage, you get a bit oily, you go to the bedroom maybe, like, it's so good. But I've also had such good sex, like traveling, like just being in different places, like on the road.
True.
Different environments, and just like the risk of that, like this is totally not the comfortable sex, but it's just like the thrill of being like, wow, we're in a national park, like a famous national park, and like we're camping here and there's no one else around, and you know,
fucking Jellystone. Wait, is it called Jellystone?
What is
no,
it?
That's
Jellystone?
a cafe in Melbourne.
Yellowstone.
Oh,
Is it Yellowstone? What's the big one in America that's
Yosemite or Yellowstone. There's a few. There's a lot.
God.
Anyway, but so wild. So I had sex with someone next to the largest tree in the world.
Whoa.
Yes.
Epic. Where is that?
It's called Hyperion in the middle of the redwoods, and it's not known, like they haven't built tracks to it yet, so you actually have to find a GPS track
to get to it. So
Oh,
you're like
hardcore,
trudging
love that.
through the like river, you're jumping over logs and
You got
oh my god, yeah.
definitely gotta fuck when you get there.
Yeah.
It's like pissing
Oh
off
my
the tallest
gosh.
thing you can find. Like,
Yeah.
you just want a bone. It's a conquest. It's
It
kind of
was
like
so good. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. That was the best.
Deep, old tree wisdom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ecosexual shit right there.
It really was. It can be dangerous though. Doing like I remember same trip we were at a Californian like beach somewhere, found these beautiful cliffs and we kind of climbed down a bit and we were like, oh yeah, let's do it. And the reason why we were doing this so often in public was because there was 3 of us traveling in this RV, but there was 2 of us that were dating. So it was really hard to get space.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it was like the start of the relationship. So it was like, oh my God, just want to bang all the time.
Yeah.
And then, so it would be like, oh my God, is this a good spot? You know? And I just remember being on the side of this cliff and we're having sex and then this rogue wave comes out of nowhere and I'm like pinned up against this rock and he just starts falling backwards and I like literally had to pull him onto the rock and he was just like, we almost just died.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, the ocean's formidable.
Definitely
and
not a
terrifying.
safe space.
Not a safe space, not a comfortable space. But the bath, bedroom, comfortable, safe.
Okay. We're back to the aquasex, but like from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Please be careful, kids. Epic. All right.
Yeah, I'm so vanilla with this. It's like my safe space for sex is like at home, like I've had a shower, I feel clean and yummy, and like we're engaging in this space where no one else is home. Like I like it when like the house is empty and I can be as loud as I want and I can feel, that's when I feel my safest and my happiest, like clean and just no pressure on time. Like I can, it's same with like masturbation. It's like I want to do that in that sort of environment ideally. Or like out in the bush, if I know that where we are is like we're off the beaten track a little and we're not going to see people, there's definitely that risk factor that I also enjoy of like maybe somebody's going to see us here. But it's generally it's something beautiful about, you know, having sex out in the open, and there's something really like, maybe not safe probably isn't the word for that, but like I definitely
magical.
There's something enjoyable about that.
Like erotic. It's like you're, I don't know, like nature naturally is like eros, is life force energy coming through you, and it's like you're just mimicking that through intimacy, and it's so magic. Hey.
I got a question for you.
All right.
Would you have sex with someone who had never really had a sexual experience before?
Of course, depends the situation. Like in a festival, maybe not. At home, maybe yes. After a talk, yeah. I mean, we all start somewhere. But in a festival, I was drunk. She told me it's happened once. Actually, I met someone. She was like 26 and didn't expect that. We started and said, "Oh, it's my first time." I said, "Oh, not now." It's like, it's not a good time.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that. Good. Yeah, consent. Consent's hot. All right. What do you think women want?
I don't know, same thing than men.
Which is?
Respect, love, talk.
Respect, love.
Respect, love, communication. I don't know, I guess.
Fuck yeah. And did your parents influence your early attitudes towards sex?
Towards that, I would say no. Toward like what I think, yes. I mean, we talk about it, but how I'm supposed to act with a woman, not. But how I'm supposed to act with the people, in general, yes. So I'm supposed to act with the people, it's the same that I'm supposed to act in a bed, in a room. I reckon.
Dope. Great. All right. I think that's a wrap. It's honestly too hot to keep going in here. 3 questions. Banged them out. That was very efficient. Thank you very much.
Excuse this quick interruption. I'm shamelessly seeking reviews and 5-star ratings for the potty because, as I'm sure you've noticed by now, it's pretty fab, and the more people who get to hear it, the more people I can help with it. Reviews and ratings actually do make a big difference to this little independent podcaster. And it's really easy to just quickly show your support by taking that simple act of either leaving 5 stars for the show on Spotify, or even better, writing a written review and leaving 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts. Or if you're a real overachiever, you can do them both. That would be mad. If you're writing a review, though, just be sure to use G-rated words, because despite the fact that this is a podcast about sexuality, words like sex can be censored and your review won't make it through the gates. Lame. Anyway, I would personally recommend doing that right now while you remember, just to get on top of it and let me know you're with me on this journey. Thanks, gang. Enjoy the rest of the epi.
So my first question for you, love your nails. Fucking hell. Weapons. Gee whiz. What is your biggest sexual turn off?
I've got so many.
Yeah, go, hit me.
So many, like, I don't know, I just don't really like men are just awful, so what are you gonna do? Maybe like commenting on your body hair, or like, you know, like it's like getting out of their lane a little bit, like commenting on things that are like absolutely not there for you to be commenting on. Like that's probably up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good answer. Yeah. Fuck. Has that happened to you much? People commenting on your body hair?
Absolutely.
Really? What do they say?
They either love it or they don't. They either love it or they're like, you should shave. And I'm like, you should probably get a fucking life.
Oh my
like,
God, you should get out of my vagina.
Like, don't even try and talk to me about what I'm doing with myself. So that's not.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that. All right, what else? What other turn-offs? Once you're like hot and heavy and you're actually in the bedroom, things are all right, and then this happens.
Sorry.
No. So fine. It's hard to think of stuff on the spot.
Yeah, it wasn't prepared, but you know, it's interesting. It's fun. Once you're already there, you know, like someone can just like look the wrong way and I'll be like, oh, a bit ick, you know, like weird orgasm faces. I don't like it. Like, I don't.
What?
I don't mind if you sweat on me. I don't mind if we're like doing things. It's just like there's certain men that do certain things that is just like really like you can't come back from it.
Wow, that must be quite an orgasm face. What if you've got a...
But I'm a sex worker, so like I see a lot of different people.
And I guess like in that situation, you don't actually like them.
Nah.
Okay, so in your personal sex life though, like someone's O face wouldn't turn you off if you really liked them?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, that's different. I was like, oh my God, fuck.
Probably
like,
not.
Imagine, like, I bet my orgasm face is crazy.
Yeah, probably.
I fucking bawl my eyes out sometimes. Like, I do heaps of crazy shit when I come.
And it's like, it's probably just a tick of like done my job well, you know, love that for me. But because I'm not there actually, I'm there as a
professional,
as an observer, you know, and like so. My personal self that doesn't touch that situation at all has opinions that I keep to myself, you know, but the rest of it, like, we just go along with it and it's great. But I don't really have a personal sex life, so, you know, like if I'm pulling from experience and like the, you know, real pool is kind of the professional side.
Okay. And do you think that you don't have much of a sex life in your private life because you have so much sex for work that you're just like not interested?
I think it's an energy thing, you know, like I just have recently become acutely aware of how important it is to cultivate your vital energy and be intentional about where you're putting it and, you know, have respect for that. And if I met a man that, you know, there was something there, great. Like, you know, I'm not closed off to it, but my life hasn't presented that, you know, so I just do what I do. Yeah.
Amazing. I think it's really, I really relate to that. I'm not really interested in just fucking or one night stands or hookups with someone I don't feel really safe with and interested in.
It doesn't end well, you know. And like I've ruined a lot of friendships because I've been like, oh, it's chill, I can fuck my friends, and then I'm fucking phenomenal, and they're like, this is a thing now, right? And I have to then not be friends with that person anymore because they fucked it, and like, actually I fucked it, you bitch, you know? Like,
can
don't
definitely
do
fuck
that.
friendships. It doesn't always, but often. What's the best way to help you feel safe and comfortable to be intimate with someone?
I have no idea.
What do you mean? What makes you feel comfortable and safe to be intimate with someone?
I don't know. Like, if you get along with them, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty much all I got.
All right. I'll grab another question. You can bail at any time, by the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Did your parents teach you how to clean your genitals?
No.
No.
No, it's never a topic.
No one told
in
you.
my
So
house.
then, like, did you just have to figure out how to, like, pull your foreskin back and, like, how did you...
Yeah, pretty much. You just, like, notice it gets dirty, then you just, like, figure it out.
Right.
Something.
At what age?
I don't know, maybe, like, 14, 15?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's something that, like, it would be good if parents, like... Because I've heard of some dads, like, teaching their sons how to, like, pull their foreskin back and clean underneath and, like, do that whole thing, especially when you reach puberty. But then a lot of people didn't get that rundown and just had to figure it out.
Yeah, and it probably seems like an awkward conversation to bring up, maybe. Or just, like, it's not something that anyone else brings up, so it's like, you're kind of like, oh, why would I bring this up if other people don't talk about it?
Oh, that's the whole point, though. Like, if we're not talking about it, everyone's so uneducated and shrouded in shame that nothing ever changes. And then we've just got, like, all these sexually repressed people with, like, smelly dicks. Is my take on it. Yeah. But, you know, parents are doing their best, and, you know, they probably didn't get any talk about that either, so. Is there anything you haven't tried yet in intimate relationships that you would like to try?
Yep. Like, which stuff? Or no, probably just, like, all of it.
What do you mean?
Like, just, like, 99% of it, yeah.
Like, give me an example of something.
Name something. Just,
Well, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, have you had sex before? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Sick. Well, you've got heaps to come.
Heaps, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
that's why I said like 99%.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Now you like follow a bit more.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot to look forward to then. Yeah. Have you? Like, is it nerve-wracking? Do you feel like you're nervous about... Because I remember when I hadn't done anything like that, I was terrified.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really start trying to do the whole, like, dating thing until about, like, mid last year.
Yeah.
So, like, if I think of, like university or something, it was, like, there was, like, never anyone that I was, like, into.
Yeah.
Or, like, a lot of friends around me weren't, like, trying to do anything either.
Yeah.
And then before I know it, I'm, like, 24, and I'm at, like, level 0 still. and then I, like, downloaded Hinge or something and like tried that for a bit, but haven't really like gone that far with it.
Yeah.
And then I started going to like this like nightclub that's like kind of good for socializing a bit, but which I made out with like 2 people there. So
sick!
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I mean that's how you start.
And then I sort of accidentally found that place, but that's like probably been like the main place that I've like met people.
Yeah.
But I'm like I might be interested in.
So what's your sexual preference? Like queer chicks?
just girls, yeah.
And like were the makeouts good?
I know, like okay.
I just remember being so nervous. I like dumped my first boyfriend because we'd been going out for like, I don't know, 3 days in high school, and he like wanted to kiss and I was like, ah! And then I just broke up with him because I didn't want to. I was so scared.
Yeah. I remember when someone asked, I was like, they were just like, oh, have you done this? I'm like, no. Have you kissed someone? I'm like, nope. And then I'm like, oh yeah, give me like 30 minutes and I'll like come back and get you if I want to.
Oh, they said that?
No, that's what I said.
Oh.
I'm like, give me 30 minutes and I'll come back and let you know if I want to do it.
If you want to kiss?
Yeah.
And then did you?
Yeah.
Did you just go and have like a stiff drink or something?
I don't know, we just went to like the dance floor or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, nice. So your first kiss, like she knew that...
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Like, was she pretty good about it? I feel like people can be weird. I feel like people can be a bit like
it was
judgy.
it was more like, jaw dropping type thing.
Yeah.
What?
But what an honor! What a privilege for her. initiate you into the world of making out on the dance floor. Sick.
Wait, would you tell people before, like, hand?
If I hadn't had sex, would I tell the person beforehand?
Like, that's what I'm like. Sometimes I'm like debating that. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like some people might be like, oh, it's like annoying or something. I don't know.
I reckon. I know that's a tough one. We'll ask these
person,
guys as well,
or?
but I think it depends on the person. And I think, like, I would say,
Or like how long you've known them before, maybe. Or?
I would tell them, but it's because I would probably only do that with someone that I felt really safe with. So I had known them for a little while, and there was a bit of like, I guess, like rapport built up between us.
Yeah.
But then I've heard some people, you know, for their first time, they're so sick of like the pressure of it having not happened that they just want to get it out of the way and get it done.
That's kind of what I'm like. I'm just like,
so it's like, don't even tell them, just fucking do it.
Yeah,
just get it.
I'm sort of like thinking that a bit. Like some people like, you know, just don't mention it.
Yeah, because
and I'm like, if I do mention it and then it doesn't happen because of that, it's like.
Yeah, like it puts them off because they don't want to be your first, or it's too much pressure or something like that. Yeah, I think it goes so I asked someone on the couch yesterday, like, would you, if you found out someone had never had sex before, would you be comfortable being the first one? And they were like, if it was just like a kind of drunken, like one night hookup, probably not. But if it was someone that I liked and cared about, then like 100% I would be really like excited and
even
like,
if it's not like a relationship type thing. Like,
I
don't ever want to get into that like straight away, you know.
No. Also, just wouldn't even recommend getting into a relationship with the first person you have sex with.
Okay.
But I mean, do you? Yeah. But like, I think for them, they were like, well, you know, if I like them enough to hang out with them a few times and I care about them, like, you know, I'd be more than happy to do that. And then if you know, and I have heard from people like when they haven't known that someone was, you know, quote unquote a virgin, even though that term is totally cancelled now, they've felt like, oh shit, I wish they'd have told me, because I could have been more mindful of that and done a better job of creating a safe space for them to have this experience. Like,
I get that,
you know,
but it's like.
But it sounds like for you,
it's like,
you just want to do it and not tell them and get it out of the way.
I mean, I'd rather tell them if I could, but it's like if I tell people and then like that turns them off or something, then I'll probably wish that I hadn't have told them.
Do you want to have sex with someone that would be put off by that though? Or do you want to
if I like them in the first place, if I like them before that anyway, then...
Yeah, okay. I guess just case by case, you know?
It's like a brisket or something.
What do you guys reckon? So the question is, if you hadn't had sex before, would you, and you were like, you know, getting cozy with someone, would you tell them, hey, this is my first time, or would you just do it and get it out of the way and not tell them? Because sometimes it deters people.
Well, it's hard to say, because for me, in sex work, like, I love it when I get a virgin. I am like, I mean, probably scare them. Sometimes I do, because I just going to make it so special. Like, because I just like wish I had that for my first time. And when I lost my virginity, I didn't say anything, you know. And if actually I lied about it and said I'd had sex before, you know, because it's just like there's this weird shame around, you know, not having had that experience. And I totally think that it's like, it's a beautiful thing, and there's nothing about it. It doesn't say anything about you. Like, I think it should be sacred, and I think, you know, with the situation, like, everything's overly romanticized. It's like, it's got to be like candle lit on fucking prom night or something. But the reality is, it's just like your first time sharing intimacy with someone and allowing them to like have union with you. And I think, like, you know, being open about that is really beautiful. And if somebody doesn't receive that, that doesn't say anything about you. It says everything about them.
I don't know. Sometimes it's like, what if you only get like a one opportunity like every like 3 months or something?
It's hard enough to meet people and get them to fuck you. But yeah,
right.
Totally.
I'm like, when was the last time I went out like before this festival? Like 3 weeks ago, and then like 2 months before that or something. You know, where I'm going to places where you could meet someone, but But then, even if you do, when you do go to those places, it's like, a lot of the time like nothing happens.
Well, that's
Comes of
it. Like it's a numbers game.
And then
Yeah.
before you know, like 6 months goes by, and it's like.
And then you're 25, and
I'm gonna be 25.
I feel
probably,
you. The pressure's mounting, and it sucks because it shouldn't be, because there's nothing wrong with that. And if anything, it's better, I think, to like hold out until you're actually ready and you meet the right person.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I probably should have done LA, but it's like I can see why I didn't. I guess.
yeah.
I don't like.
A lot of people's
too
first
much.
times are really traumatic because they rushed into it because it just the opportunity presented itself, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I'd probably do that. To be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty keen to just fucking get it done.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird if I get to like 30 or something and I haven't done it.
You're not
like,
going to get to 30. Don't worry about that. Don't worry.
I don't know.
Would you
I mean,
be
like,
Totally fine too. If you did, it's totally fine too. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I actually often have virgins come in to see me as a sex worker to have their first time with me, you know, and like that's why I hold it with such sacredness, because like I think it's beautiful that they are like, you know, want to come and experience that with somebody in a space that feels safe and like they're there, contained.
They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
There's no judgment.
No,
Yeah, because I think like what you're nervous about is like if you tell someone, them being like, "Oh my God, what? You're 24, you're a virgin. Oh, I don't want to," you know, like it sounds like you've had some.
Yeah, and then I'm like, it sort of happened one time a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Would you be open to hiring a sex worker to get it out of the way, just to like?
I don't think so.
Because there's stigma.
About it,
Huh?
by the way, babe. Like,
Huh?
I'm totally used to the stigma.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't say I'm fully closed off to it, but probably would rather find someone just like normally.
Yeah, well, I've got clients that I've got actually quite a few clients who have never had sex before. I work with women, and you know, one of them was like, if I still haven't had sex by my 50th birthday, 55, because I started working with her when she was 53. And she was like, I'm just going to hire a sex worker. If you know, I need to do this. I need to have this experience.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like awkward, like feeling like the odd one out, like all the time. It's like I'm just like sitting around friends. I'm like,
Maybe we're the odd ones out.
you guys, how are you guys?
I didn't get to experience what it was like to choose who I had sex with from a space where I was like myself, you know, and I wasn't like an adult, you know, like I was a child. I was 13 when I lost my virginity. My boyfriend was 17, and there was nothing special about it. Like I get to choose now, like, you know, if I'm 30 now, like if I chose somebody, it would be because I'm like, oh yeah, I want to share this with you. Like, I want to see what we can create, you know. It's coming from this whole other place. It's like so special. Yeah. I kind of wish that I could go back and have that. Yeah. So maybe we're the odd ones out.
Yeah, honestly.
Like everyone's got some little weird.
Oh my God, everyone has stuff about this, and like I feel you, because in all the movies and like, you know, this classic boys' locker room.
I know, it's like, yeah, you see it in movies, books, just like it's just everywhere.
Everyone's talking about sex. Everyone's talking about how they're having sex. Yeah.
So it's like, so I definitely get the constant like shame over it a bunch, but
yeah, I feel you. What do you reckon? Hal's got anything to weigh in on this?
I just feel like it's such an energetic exchange with someone. So if you're not feeling it with anyone yet, then the moment will come where you're just like, this is the person I want to do this with, right? And I think that's so much more special than being like, have that pressure that's building up inside, being like, oh my God, I need to do this ASAP because I haven't. It's more of a like, well, actually you have the power to choose someone who...
I've turned down people before, like, but I mean, then there's definitely been people like since, you know, there's been multiple people that I've liked since that I would have done with, I would say, but
And has it just not happened because they didn't want to, or you?
I didn't ask them. No, I just never asked.
Yeah, well, also though, you can't go from 0 to 100. Like, if you've just kissed someone, like maybe just try some hand stuff and like just ease into it.
Both of those times, like I didn't see them again, but I probably didn't really want to that much anyway.
Yeah.
But then, like, trying to think of the other times I like met people. Maybe I talked to like one person for like an hour, and then like got their like Instagram or something, and then like what happened? Like I started trying to talk to them, and then they ghosted or something, and then like, and then I don't know, and then like another time there was like met one person in a nightclub, and then like, and then I messaged them like a week later. I'm like, hey, you want to like hang out sometime? And they're like, oh my God, yeah. And then then we talked for a little bit, and then they ghosted too.
Fucking hell, it's hard out there.
And then I ran into them like maybe like a month ago, but I don't know. I was just like talking to other people at the same time, so I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care that much. I'm just like, if I was talking to someone else, I'm like, and she comes up to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you later or whatnot, you know. And then I just like didn't end up like going for anything,
pursuing it. Yeah. Oh, the dating world is hard.
I was just like.
And like since dating apps and stuff, I think the whole dating landscape has changed. I think it's freaking hard out there. I guess regardless of how you wind up approaching it, whether you tell them, whether you don't, whether you just go straight in for like dick in vag sex immediately, or whether you like ease into it with some hand stuff and some oral, I think the main thing is like taking the pressure off yourself, because obviously you're feeling that, you know, everyone, like I feel like the odd one out. I feel like I'm being left behind. My friends are all having sex. Everyone's talking about sex scenes in movies. I think like it's super hard not to feel that pressure and that like shame and that like, oh my God, I'm being left behind. I need to do this thing to like keep up with the rest of the people my age. But like if you can, just try to be okay with that, because there's nothing wrong with that. And dude, I have clients that are in their 60s and they've never had sex. That's not going to be you. If you don't want it to be you, don't worry. But like, you know, it's not as uncommon as you would think. And I think there's a lot of people.
I think people say it's like more common than I would think, but it's still uncommon. It's uncommon, but more common than I think.
Yes, it's still less common by a certain age, but I think more common than anyone realizes, and it's getting harder and harder, I reckon.
I mean, like, the dating app's not working that well. It's like,
no, dating apps
I don't like it. Maybe I'll send some messages and then like probably don't get a reply, and then like
tell me about it.
And then like trying to get photos is like a pain in the ass, because like no one wants to take photos.
Mate, we'll get a photo of you on the Labia Lounge. That will get the puss. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
We will do a photo shoot with you. How's that?
Oh, you can take one if you want. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I feel like the candid kind of shots would be good, but like that just never happens.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck with like 3 photos maybe that are like.
Yes. All right, let's make this guy a dating profile, shall we?
Hey, me again. If you'd like to support the potty and you've already given it 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on, I want to mention that you can buy some really dope merch from the website and get yourself a Labia Lounge tote, tee, togs. Yep, you heard that right. I even have Labia Lounge bathers. Or a cute fanny pack if that'd blow your hair back. So if fashion isn't your passion though, you can donate to my Buy Me a Coffee donation page, which is actually called Buy Me a Soy Chai Latte, because I'll be the first to admit I'm a bit of a Melbourne cafe tosser like that. And yes, that is my coffee order. You can do a once-off donation or an ongoing membership and sponsor me for as little as 3 fat ones a month. And I also offer one-on-one coaching and online courses that'll help you level up your sex life and relationship with yourself and others in a really big way. So every bit helps, because it ain't cheap to put out a sweet podcast into the world every week out of my own pocket. So I will be undyingly grateful if you support me and my biz financially in any of these ways. And if you like, I'll even give you a mental BJ with my mind from the lounge itself. Saucy. And I'll pop the links in the show notes. Thank you. Later.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you for sharing so vulnerably. I hope you know, get all of the sexual delights that are coming to you. Oh my God, this whole place is going to blow over. All right, we better stop.
And that's it, darling hearts. Thank you for stopping by the Labia Lounge. Your bum groove in the couch will be right where you left it, just waiting for you to sink back in for some more double L action next time. And in the meantime, if you'd be a dear and subscribe, share this episode, or leave a review on iTunes, then you can pat yourself on the snatch, because that, my dear, is a downright act of sex-positive feminist activism. And you'd be supporting my vision to educate, empower, demystify, and destigmatize with this here podcast. Also, I'm always open to feedback, topic ideas that you'd love to hear covered, or guest suggestions. So feel free to get in touch via my website at freyagraph.com, or say hey over on Insta. My handle is Freya_graph_YMT, and I seriously hope you're following me on there, because damn, we have fun. Anyway, later labial legends. I'll see you next time.